Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here again with you for another installment. And I want to encourage you to subscribe to the Celebration Church YouTube channel. And you can keep up to date with us on all the content that we're putting up. And we'd love to just keep in touch with you. And I want to share today a lesson that became very real to me recently, and it's called The Gap. My son has decided to play tackle football. And tackle football in Texas is the leading denomination. Ahead of the Baptist, ahead of the Methodist, ahead of every other church in Texas, football is number one. And tackle's a big deal. And so he's training right now. And he's doing the workouts. And he started last week. And it is brutal. It is brutal. But what's crazy to me is that he's got to train for 3 weeks before he actually gets on the field with his team. And so he's doing this self-conditioning. Well, like 2 days in, 48 hours in, he's running, he's sweating, he's lifting these weights. He can hardly walk. And he's like, Mom, when am I going to see these results? Why am I not? I mean, he's expecting to look in the mirror and be JJ Watt 48 hours into his conditioning. And I said, buddy, there's a gap from the time you start conditioning until you actually see the results, till it actually comes to fruition. But trust me, stick with it. You are getting stronger every day, even if you can't see it. You are building endurance every day. That's what sweat is. That's endurance. And I was in the Word and I was reading in Joshua chapter 2, a story everybody knows, Rahab, and the story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. And this is what leapt off the page to me. In Joshua chapter 2, Rahab makes a split-second decision to hide the spies. And she gets them to promise, for the kindness that I've shown you, you show kindness to me and my family. I know your God has conquered other Canaanite towns. He is God in heaven above and on earth below, and he has given you this city. And when you guys come back to take this city, remember my family and remember me. And the spies said, our lives for yours. Tie this red cord out your window, and we will know when we come to take the city that your house is safe, and put everybody in your house that you want to see their life spared. Put your family, everybody in there. And then they left. And then there's this gap of time. Joshua 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we don't know how many calendar days elapsed in that time. We know the spies hid for 3 days before they went to see Joshua. We know Joshua camped another 3 days before he moved the people of Israel. We know the entire nation crossed the Jordan River. We know every man was circumcised. We know they celebrated the Passover, but we don't know exactly how much time elapsed, but some time elapsed. And that whole time, God is positioning Israel for spiritual and physical victory. And you know what Rahab's doing? She's waiting. She was ready the very night the spies gave her the promise with the red cord. She was ready the next night. She was ready the night after that. She was ready every single night. And she knows nothing about what's happening with the children of Israel and God and the positioning. All she knows is she is waiting. And you and I find ourselves in that gap where there's a space of time between what we've asked God for, and we're standing on his word, and we're believing for his promises, and for the natural world to catch up to it. That's the gap. And that's where Rachel is. I can almost like press my ear and eavesdrop underneath her window. I can hear what's going on inside that house. Her parents are like, Rahab, we love you, baby, but are you sure you heard them right? Are you sure? Her brothers and sisters are like, girl, we've been sleeping on your couch for a week. I don't think those spies are coming back. I think no, this is a joke. And I can imagine the voices in her own head when she was quiet and alone, the whispers from hell that said, a cord will not save you. You and I, when we are in the gap, when we take a stand, when we establish a bulkhead of faith, and we decide to take God at his word, those same voices are going to come to you and I in the gap. And we have a choice to make, just like Rahab did. Are we going to trust God or aren't we? Is God a liar or isn't he? I'm telling you, battles are won and lost in the gap, and generations are shaped in the gap. The fight that you are in today, the gap that you're standing in today, may not just be about you. It may be about your children or your children's children. If you read in Matthew 1, Jesus' lineage, Rahab is in Jesus' lineage. She was standing in the gap for something much greater than she could ever have imagined, and so are you. So I just want to encourage you, hold fast. God is not a man that he should lie, and he has not lost a battle yet, and he's not going to start with you. Hold the line, hold fast in the gap, tie the cord around your heart, and remind yourself of what God has promised you, and hold fast. We love you. We just want to encourage you, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon.